सभी को नमस्कार। मैं अपने आप को विद्यार्थी महसूस कर रहा हूँ। इतने एकेडमिशियंस के समक्ष, वाइस चांसलर्स के समक्ष एक ही राहत है कि वाइस शब्द वाइस प्रेसिडेंट के साथ भी जुड़ा हुआ है। Honorable Minister for IT and Electronics, Uttar Pradesh, Shri Sunil Kumar Sharma. My congratulations to the government of Uttar Pradesh. He has taken, the Chief Minister, great initiative. IT was declared as industry. That has a huge consequence for positive development. Another aspect for which UP is getting increasingly recognized at the school education level, transparency and accountability in administration is becoming a hallmark. Dr. Ashok Chauhan and Professor Vinay Kumar Pathak, we had the occasion to hear both of them. Dr. Ashok Chauhan is a builder of an institution that has now global recognition. Presence in India and abroad is a testimony to his spirit dedication. I must congratulate him for forthright address, heartfelt address, and congratulate him all the more because I have had the occasion to deliberate with two generations succeeding him for passing on the baton to them. It is very difficult to part with power. You have done it. Congratulations. Professor Vinay Kumar Pathak, true to his name, is very Vinay. His address was forward-looking. He had taken note of what Bharat has traversed in last decade. With time constraint, he could not express fully, but everything which he said is very significant. But I must caution Association of Indian Universities. Go to cricket. When a batsman is at 99 runs, it is critical. It is difficult. 99 के फेर में बहुत कुछ हो जाता है. That one run is most important, and that is the big agenda the Vice Chancellors have. What you have attained in 99 years, you have to attain more than double of that in the last year. And that is how your century will climax. Dr. Mrs. Pankaj Mittal, Secretary General, AIU, distinguished Vice Chancellors, academicians, and distinguished audience. It's a great day in the history of our nation. One of the finest sons of soil. It is his Balidan Divas today. Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee. The name states us. He gave the slogan, एक विधान एक निशान और एक प्रधान ही होगा देश में, दो नहीं होंगे. He said so during campaign in the state of Jammu and Kashmir in 1952. Then we suffered Article 370 for too long a period. It bled us and the state of Jammu and Kashmir in several ways. Article 370 and draconian Article 35 capital A deprived people of their basic human rights, fundamental rights, could not reap the fruits of governance all over the country. We had a visionary Prime Minister Narendra Modi and a Home Minister in the shoes of Sardar Patel, Amit Shah. Article 370 does not exist now in our Constitution. It was abrogated on 5th August 2019. And the challenge to the Supreme Court on this failed on 11 December 2023. I therefore cannot be at a more befitting place than this to pay tribute to one of the finest sons of our soil. My tributes to him. Friends, I join you today with a deep sense of purpose. It is prelude to your centenary celebrations. My heartfelt compliments for the glorious journey you have had so far, and my best wishes for what you have to traverse to make a difference in the nation, so that the nation makes a difference in the entire world. Distinguished Vice Chancellors, you do not merely script career of your students. You merely do not handhold them or guide them. You are the most vital segment of growth engine of the nation. You are scripting no less than destiny of Bharat, home to 1/6 of humanity. The burden on you could not be more, and I am confident the dedication of our Vice Chancellors, their commitment, their directional approach, all this is implementable and achievable. Trying to reach, as I said earlier, a century is no easy milestone. It is recorded in history. I also take opportunity to compliment and congratulate and give good wishes to Amity University for this excellent premise. The environment I found when I entered was very soothing, and what I gather is you have stepped out to make our impact beyond the frontiers of Bharat. Friends, I must share with you something which happened after more than 3 decades that has really changed the landscape of our education. I am making reference to National Education Policy 2020. As Governor of State of West Bengal, I was associated with it in some measure. Inputs in hundreds of thousands were taken into consideration for evolution of this policy after more than 3 decades. The policy resonates with our civilizational spirit, a sense and ethos. It transforms educational pattern when executed. The policy is a bold reaffirmation of India's timeless belief that education is the awakening of the self, not just for acquisition of skills. I have firmly believed education is a great equalizer. Education brings about equality as no other mechanism does. Education decimates inequities. As a matter of fact, education gives life to democracy. I urge all Vice Chancellors, faculty members, and administrators to take a very serious critical look first to understand this policy, its spirit, and to ensure by small workshops that students come to understand it. It has a potential to be game changer. I am somewhat concerned that those who need to know more about this policy need to engage themselves a little more seriously. And that can be driven very effectively by Vice Chancellors. So please make aware the students the benefits of the national education policy. Worrisomely and alarmingly, our students at the moment are still in silos. They are in a groove only of government jobs. We are required, Vice Chancellors as academicians and people like me in constitutional position, to make aware our students and youth of the opportunities they have. The balloon of opportunities is getting bigger and bigger day by day. Our boys and girls have to know about it. India stands tall on world stage as a knowledge power. With over 1,100 universities and more than 40 million students, our higher education is the third largest globally. But friends, I do not wish to go on statistics. Statistics do not define the real-time growth. Education is the surest path to empowerment, progress, and nation building. If privileged pedigree today has eclipsed, it is on account of the spread of education. If democracy will get cutting edge of participation of the most vulnerable, the last in line, it has to be through education. We always have to take pride and reflect in our ancient history. We are inheritors of grand civilizational tradition, where we had blossoming of Takshila, Nalanda, Vikramshila, Vallabhi, and Odantpuri. They once attracted students, scholars from all over the world. They learned from us, and we learned from them. That was ancient Bharat. We are on way to attaining it. The Vice Chancellors and academicians have a great role to play, alongside people like Chauhan, who have to create infrastructure. These ancient institutions that I have named a while ago were not merely centers of learning, they were much beyond. These were melting pots of cultures, ideas, philosophies, and disciplines. Our young, impressionable minds need to know about these. We owe it to our ancestors to rekindle this spirit in our young minds through our modern day universities. One of the surest way to transform our education system for positivity is, let us not have passive recipients of ideas. Let there be innovation, let there be creativity, let there be thinking process, let there be vibrant exchange of ideas, because only then we can become meaningful contributors to global knowledge systems. Our universities are not meant to just hand out degrees. The degrees must carry great weightage, and therefore universities have to be places or sanctuaries of ideas and ideation, crucibles of innovation. These places have to catalyze big change. That responsibility owes on the Vice Chancellors in particular and the academia in general. And therefore, I appeal to you, there must be space for disagreement, debate, dialogue, and discussion. That is how the mind cells are activated. Abhivyakti, Vaad, Vivad, Anantvad, these are inalienable facets of our civilization, of our democracy. Friends, let me indicate to you, and when you look around the world, you'll understand its significance. The state of education defines not only the state of academics, but the state of the nation. We cannot remain perpetual students of Western innovation when our demographic dividend positions us as world's knowledge epicenter. And when we look back in our ancient history, we are reminded of our rich past. It is time Bharat must build world-class institutions, not just to teach, but to pioneer. These are not mere disciplines. These are levers of assurance of our sovereignty in all times to come. Let me not mince words. The imperative is absolute. Establish institutions of uncompromising excellence in emerging domains: artificial intelligence, climate change, climate technology, quantum science, digital ethics, then Bharat will lead, others will follow. That's a challenge. Education is not just merely for public good. It is our most strategic national asset. It is integrally connected not only with our development journey in infrastructure or otherwise, it assures national security also. Friends, I am before academicians and therefore I will reveal my thought process a little more critically for your analysis. Impossible choices define our character and strength. We must not take the easy route. Impossible choices define that we really have a great inheritance. Taking easy path is getting into mediocrity and then into irrelevance and insignificance. Universities are crucibles to generate such choices. They prepare minds, they prepare people to be intrepid, to go in for impossible choices. Therefore, universities have to be ideation laboratories. Our institutions have potential to be at the peak of pyramid if vice chancellors so determine. I can tell you one who heads the institution defines. We have Mr. Narendra Modi as Prime Minister. Look at the scale of his thought process, scale of his achievements, gigantic issues which he has addressed, accomplished with great success. 500 people and more than that in banking inclusion. 120 million free gas connections. Every household in India has now a toilet, a gas connection, and an electricity connection. Digital connectivity has gone to the last mile, and therefore make that choice. Just reflect the another aspect, and mind you, when you look around the world, there is still maybe 400 years, 500 years, 1,000 years, 2,000 years. Always remember, we are unique civilization, more than 5,000 years old. No one comes close to us. Just reflect, just scratch your brains. Who are we without principles? Without ethics, without morality? And you are the watchdogs, vice chancellors, academicians, to nurture these qualities. Universities and schools are obvious centers for imbibing the spirit and essence of these sublime principles that define our nation, our culture, our history, our heritage. These are, dear friends, obvious centers for learning of our civilizational essence and ethos. And let me tell you, unless we act timely, we'll only be left bruised, bandaging the wounds. Some issues that are microcosm of larger issues fail to get attention. Let me give you one. Climate change is a buzz now, a buzzword in corporate centers, in education centers, in parliaments, in global bodies. But we were really negligent in addressing the issue earlier. And therefore it is required that our nation faces some challenges. Those challenges are equally existential as the climate changes for the globe. They are for our nation. Let me tell you, manipulated conversions, very dangerous. It is not just conversion. It is upheaval in democracy. Millions of illegal migrants in the country making demand on our resources. And obviously these are challenges to our national security. Just imagine population growth is taking place in some sectors in a doctored way, only to secure vegetarianism. These issues must be addressed. Universities are places for ideation. we must engage in this thought process, activate our atom cells so that we emerge as an atomic power to defeat, neutralize, decimate these nefarious tendencies with sinister design to upset the apple cart of our blossoming democracy. Friends, let me focus on the area to which primarily Dr. Chauhan belongs. A lot of our institutions, unlike his, have remained brownfield. Let us fall in line with the global groove. Let's go green. Greenfield institutions alone bring about equitable distribution of these knowledge centers. There are places that are untouched by growth of these institutions. There is clusterization along tier 1 cities, metros, outskirts. A larger section of the population is deprived of these benefits on account of distance. Let us go in for greenfield institutions in areas that have so far not benefited out of such institutions. Let me indicate to the Vice Chancellors, this is my firm conviction. Vice Chancellors are not only the watchdogs, but they are impregnable bulwarks to commodification and commercialization of education. Because one of our fundamental objects to transform the nation is affordability and reach, accessibility of quality education for ordinary people. And that has to be ensured. Only then the nation will pick up the pace which in a challenging world, we are required first to hold our own and to show the world to the entire humanity. The role of the Vice Chancellors in this critical job is pivotal, fundamental. You are beyond administrators. You carry the legacy of Kulpatis of yore, wise, visionary, and committed to both the academic and moral development of institutions. Let me tell you, Vice Chancellors, more often than not, an institution is defined by the Vice Chancellors. Takshila was known because Panini and Chanakya were affiliated with it. Nalanda earned its fame because of Shilbhadra spearheaded it. I can keep on going. In recent times, Indian Institute of Science, a crown jewel in India's scientific establishment, drew talent from the world, but known for what? Shri C.V. Raman became its inaugural director. Bhabha Atomic Research Center, IIM Ahmedabad, earned global reputes because of people like Homi Bhabha and Vikram Sarabhai. I can keep on going. Each one of you has the potential. You only have to be determined. You can profoundly shape the destiny of Bharat. You don't have to look up to administrators in parliament or otherwise. And fortunately for you, Vice Chancellors, for the first time in the country, we have leadership that is visionary, that believes in mission with passion and executes with expedition. That defines the persona of Prime Minister Modi. And therefore, when you have an ecosystem that is affirmative by government policies, you have to put your best foot forward. As I said, impossible choices. The terrain is going to be difficult. There are bound to be headwinds, air pockets. But then expectations must be equally high. I believe in your capability to transform adversity into opportunity. Let me just take an illustration and slightly transgress. Industrial revolution changed the world, but disruptive technologies are much beyond industrial revolution. They are changing the world every second. Paradigm shift is taking place. Be academic institutions, industrial places, your workstations, your homes. These challenges have to be regulated, converted into opportunities. And you must do it at a time when India has thought at a large scale of quantum computing, green hydrogen mission. And I, therefore, have a lot of expectation from the institution of Vice Chancellors. I appeal to everyone in the government and administration also, have faith in the institution of Vice Chancellors. Let it be not in crossfire. This institution is too elevated to become a cause of controversy, because the students look up to the Vice Chancellor with awe and admiration, with hope to change their careers. Friends, there must be sharing amongst universities, sharing of talent of faculty, sharing of best practices, to ensure that research takes place to change the ground reality, the larger lives of the people, not for the sake of academic credentials. That has to be the bottom line. Let me conclude. Operations are great wisdom in all facets. And what it says, Sa Vidya Ya Vimutke, knowledge which liberates. You are the custodians of it. Students are like Arjun, but you are like Lord Krishna. You are dealing with a chariot. Arjun will perform only because there is Lord Krishna to guide. You are there. Let us ensure our education system liberates minds, builds character, and serves humanity. As you are heading towards celebration of 100 years of AIU, please reimagine the future of Indian higher education. I beseech each one of you, the Vice Chancellors, educators, policy leaders, and students, to be harbingers of India's educational renaissance, because that is needed by the nation. I end with a prayer which often everyone has taken note of. Om Asto Ma Sadgamaya Tamso Ma Jyotirmagaya. Let the Almighty lead us from darkness to ignorance to enlightenment. Vice Chancellors, academicians, the Almighty has chosen you to lead others from darkness to light to enlightenment. Thank you so much.